my journey in tech, right? Not intentionally. So when I started, I didn't even know. I said, "Oh, you're in tech stuff." No, I didn't start that way. Where you are, intentional about going into tech.
So you can see, like, tech found you.
Yeah.
The story of Dayo Samuel is one that is worthy of all emulation. For a guy who schooled in.
That's fun.
Good man.
Welcome, Niger.
Okay.
How many days now?
So I came in on Thursday afternoon.
How did you feel when you first landed?
Oh boy, when the heat first grabbed me, I was like, I want to go back.
So I just wanted to like talk normally, right? You're doing very well for yourself at the moment.
I think so. I think so.
So, if someone was like to ask you, what's up, like how the journey started, like how would you do that?
Really. The point is right. This same question, when anyone asks me this question, just like where do I start from? Because I do a lot of stuff.
But
one thing I know, I tell people when they ask me like, "What's your role? What do you do right now?" I said, "Product manager." But Dayo Samuel, my name, and I started my journey in tech. Right. Not intentionally. So when I started, I didn't even know. I said, "Oh, you're in tech stuff." No, I didn't start that way. Where you are, intentional about going into tech.
So you can see, like, tech found you.
I just found my online. Like I found the name for it along the way. So it all started when I finished my uni. That day, a guy came into our room, right, and it was like he wanted to use one of my friend's computer to finish his project for a client. And I asked him, like, what project are you doing? He said he's trying to develop a site using Squarespace. So we have. I didn't know Squarespace before that time, right? So I know Squarespace now. I know Wix and WordPress. So he said he needs my friend's computer to finish a project because his own computer is faulty, And he later told us that what he's about to do for this client tonight is going to get like $200. That's when my heart was like, wait a minute. You're literally going to do something on your computer tonight and you're going to earn $200. I'm talking about 2019. 2019. How much was $200 there? Like $200 converted to naira, like thinking about over, I think 200,000. So I was so curious, like, how are you doing this? Like, where did you get the clients? What's up and all that? So he told me that you just have to use some templates on Squarespace, then this client will get you paid. And he was working with a client on Fiverr at that time. So that just sparked some sort of attention. I wanted to know more about what this guy was doing. And then the following week, immediately after that conversation, right, I just went to YouTube and started searching for how do you build websites without coding, without design skill. I found Wix. I found Wix, and to cut it short, I found Wix and I joined Fiverr. I joined Fiverr. I found Wix. I used to design on Photoshop then, but not really good. It wasn't really good. So I created Fiverr account. I then started pitching for jobs. And I got one client who paid me $20 for over 20. $20 for over
criminal,
25 designs.
In Obafemi Awolowo University, studied mechanical engineering.
What next? I started designing for them. I observed their analytics and I found that most of them are not really making sales. Then I was like, what exactly is going on? Which again sparked my interest in understanding how users actually behave, on the website. So I started learning UI UX because of that to understand what kind of design resonates with users. Like I said, Wix, Squarespace, they are CMS platform, and I saw you talking about CMS platform recently, right?
I remember that I learned about Wix from you. This time. So I remember I didn't even remember there was this gig then that I got. That was when I came back to Ibadan. When I called you $500, right? I remember asking to watch a YouTube video and OTT, right? It's also
the interesting thing about the Wix thing was I learned it in a night, over the night. And my first contract on that Wix skill, I made 1 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I made 1 million naira.
First
contract building on Wix.
To someone who today is well sought out product manager in the United Kingdom, somebody who's put in the work.
Like growing up now, would you say like you were born into like a wealthy home, or like middle? Was since like middle class, or things were like very very bad growing up?
I wouldn't say it's actually really bad.
Yeah.
But at least we had something to eat in the morning, afternoon, and night, so
Yeah.
it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
But I think I would just say it's kind of middle form.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we knew we didn't get to have everything that we actually wanted.
Yeah.
And but one thing I would say is, our parents were so intentional about, getting us to go to school, even those at the point we attended a public school, which I is actually, and that wasn't an issue though.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a wealthy home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was a hairdresser. She was fixing hair. She was fixing hair for people, and my dad was also like a civil servant working. So I remember there was a time in primary school actually where we're having this general meeting, and we're being asked to tell or to write about what our parents were doing. And I wrote my dad was a doctor. The mistress knew my dad was a doctor. She knew what my dad was doing. So she now called me, like, at what point did your dad become a doctor? That's what your dad was doing. So it was just a middle wearing
like middle class. Yeah.
I
know that Tech like found you, right?
Yeah.
But months after school, what was it like? Right, you finished as in Nigeria. You just finished your BSc. What was it like?
If you ask me what was it like, I would say I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was not really intentional about tech stuff.
Yeah.
It was all unintentional.
Yeah.
But life after school, I was expecting my dad to send we usually send like 8K to me in a month. So I was still living on that.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't know what my entire life after school would have been like, except without me meeting the kind of person I met at the time.
Yeah.
But I was only managing. I go home every weekend, and because I have some.
You're saying you're not joining then, so you go home weekends.
Yes, I go home weekends and still carry stuff even after school.
Yeah, it was in that joint that when I came to say hi to you, that still for a while. That's remember that we would go to that market.
I was trying to manage the money.
Yeah, sure you can. I mean, like try and get okra, ugu, and then we cook it together. And then you used to say like, this
was so crazy. It was so crazy.
I remember that there was a time you worked at a car wash where you were washing cars. Like that was after school, right?
It was after school actually. It was during the time I was again transitioning into tech unconsciously.
Yeah.
Not intentional.
Yeah.
Right. And I must be honest, the idea of me going to wash cars wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yes, it wasn't like, I saw the banner out there looking for someone who's gonna wash car, and I went to so that was not the point. The point was when I started, right? I love cars.
Yeah.
I love cars, and the idea was I want to learn how to sell cars.
Yeah.
So I went to meet this man, somewhere in Ife. He sells cars. So when I got to him, I said, I want to understand what to do, how do you sell your car and stuff like that. I told him, I said, if he can actually give me maybe access to taking pictures of his cars, I upload on social media and all that. I said, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So he said, I have to be coming to the office. so you see the point now. So I went there to ask or make inquiry about learning how to sell cars and stuff like that. So because I'm a car freak.
And at that time, you were already doing a few things online.
Already doing a few things online.
You were already hustling online. But still, you had to do that because it's passion and because you said you make money also from it. I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So when I got there, so I resume in the morning. And when I get there, the point is you see other people watching the car. So I got to join because I'm already here. So that was how I started watching the car. And I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's crazy. So I mean, one of the things I would usually tell people is that like Tunde I would say it's possible to do great things from a small place, right? And you're someone who I know who I know your story very well, right? And so we usually would get to talk about figures like money, right? So how much was your first earning, your first paycheck online? I think when you started, how much?
It was ridiculous actually.
Yeah,
I did mention it earlier. My first earnings was $20.
And the guy
2025 or so.
Yeah,
2025, and this guy asked for a refund.
Yeah,
after designing about 20 graphics or stuff for him.
Yeah.
So he said it wasn't good.
Did you after that? So you refunded the money?
I refunded the money.
Okay.
I refunded the money.
Beautiful. So how much was the next one that you actually saw on your account? And I I made this money online.
I think the first one was actually the after that I got some mini design gigs, and so it wasn't up to 100K.
Yeah.
But the first major one that I can say, well, this is money in my account, was when I designed using a wig for someone, and it was about 1 million plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but before that, you had a few.
Had a few stuff.
Who has had to grind and build his life from the ground up. Somebody who saw poverty, real-time poverty, but today has possible to do great things.
Like you've been in Manchester for 3 years now.
You've even ever had the opportunity, like chance to even talk about since I got to Manchester.
Yeah, right. Like,
well,
what was the culture shock as first when you got there?
Oh boy, the first culture shock, which I did mention yesterday, was you can't drink, you can't drink something or eat something and just drop litter anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from one junction to the other, you always see the bin where you drop your stuff there, which is something that I found so interesting. And also with the fact that since I got him there over 3 years, I didn't hold cash. Yeah, I didn't hold
cash at all.
Cash, yeah, I didn't hold cash.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I didn't hold cash at all.
Crazy. Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. 3 years no cash.
3 years no cash. Just tap. Tap. Taking balls, tap. Get out, tap. So it's just. And it wasn't because there were no cash like that could circulate around, but because the environment had all things in place where you entirely don't need cash.
So that makes me remember, I mean, Nigeria, a country like Nigeria, we do have everything in place, but there's a time government tried to hold cash from people. And
what are you trying to do?
Like, Jigga, you don't have a provision for them to be able to live that kind of life, but you just want to force it or not. So it was crazy.
That's crazy. I think I heard at that time where was it the time when they were trying to where they
it was the election period.
Okay, so it was right from when they changed the currency, like the paper.
I think it was kind of around the same period.
Okay, so wasn't because of the change that made.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Like they were holding cash back. Then there was cashless policy and stuff like that.
So they want to implement what cashless policy where people get to pay with probably transfer and all that.
That was the idea, but I mean, it's not like there's no education. You've not all these market women, many of them does not even have a bank account.
One of the things I was thinking I would try here is try and use my card, my phone, to just tap if it's going to work. Google Pay. So basically, you had your card information to your phone. It's an iPhone, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to figure that out.
Yeah, possible. You can check it out before you. Yeah, I think what's your highest amount that you've earned in a month, right? Not necessarily for a gig, right? But in a month.
Okay. If you remember the time you came to or joined then, I said something. I said, this particular week, I said I made, was it month or week? But I said I was doing 50,000 naira.
Yeah.
Was it a week or a month? I can't remember. But I said every week. I think. I think it's a month. Yeah, it's a month. Okay. It's not my money. Yeah, it's a month. It's a month. So that was a month. I told you. Okay, last month I made 250,000, and I said the following month. One of the things that I do when I was getting better with my tech career and working remotely was trying to put myself on a standard. This week, if I did 250 last week, then the following week I want to do double. Okay, but that was a time I literally did over $20,000 in a month. 20,000. And I would say that was my highest, actually. I said that was my highest in a month. Crazy. I've never done a month 20,000. $20,000.
I was sure.
The funny thing was actually with one client.
Are you serious?
That's crazy, one client. Man.
That's crazy, man.
You didn't even want to bother to actually. What was I doing?
Exactly. That's true. What made you 20K dollars from one time in a month?
Website design.
Yeah. What kind of website design?
Yeah. So I think the thing is the same work I charged that client for $20,000. People charge nothing less than $50,000. When I say people, I mean agencies.
Yeah.
Why some individual contributor or freelancer would charge? They can charge as low as 1,000 for it. So it depends on how. And that's something probably we can discuss later. So I think it depends on how you can pitch or sell what you know. Do you guys? It depends on how you can sell what you know. And that's why you can see a job post out there that says, we're looking for a product manager, right? the salary expectation we have for this role, you will see stuff like $150,000 to $250,000. So who would be paying 150,000? Who would be paying 250,000 for the same role?
Yeah.
So the point now is, some will tell you depending on your experience, and what is the experience to these guys is how well you can sell yourself. Like what do you want to do for us?
Yeah.
So if they see you capable but you can't sell yourself enough, they will give you what they think is fit. So it's about how I sold myself.
Yeah.
So the same work I charged this person, the highest earning for me, which was 20,000. The same work I charged that person, I've done. After that, I did the same similar project for someone that I did charge just 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
But man, $220,000 a month is crazy, right?
I just wish that could just come back right
again. The news of the internet,
yeah. And that's the point about the internet. Internet is available for everyone, right? But the information as to you can even have that information, but things you would need to know that will help you sell that way. You see, you can't just find it anywhere. You probably need to talk to those who have been there. And you just find yourself again growing in that line. Like I said, the same person who actually did $20 project, I spent days trying to work on that project. Spent days, a lot of revisions, $20. I got a contract of 20,000 in a month.
That's crazy.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in product management for a while now.
Yeah.
It was since you transitioned. What's the experience been like? Right. How do you finding the journey? What's it been like?
So the journey has been very interesting because I'm doing what I love.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's the thing about being a product manager for me right now. I'm doing what I love, and doing what I love not because I just love it, but because I love the money there. I love money. Yeah, and I can't deny the fact that I actually love money, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. But it has been very, very amazing. But right now, again, I've been taking some kind of courses to advance in my product management role to becoming a product leader. Like, and it's a product certified product leader. I've been leading a different product launch since 2024. I've launched like three products since 2024 right now. 3 applications that have been used in the US. So it's been very, very interesting actually. It's been beautiful.
I know you also you work with Rain City in the UK. A remote role or hybrid?
When I told someone about that role, they said I shouldn't tell them it's actually hybrid because I only go to the office on Mondays. So I said this is not hybrid, this is fully remote. But it's actually an hybrid. Go to office only on Mondays, Tuesdays to Fridays. I work from home. Currently there, leading the experimentation team as the head of CRO. So I'm leading the team there.
As we kind of like round up this conversation, right? I want you to like speak to young Africans. What would be your advice to them?
I think what I would say that I keep saying to myself is something needs to be pushing you actually. Like I mentioned when we were having that conversation around me washing cars and all that, I saw that there are things I could do there. Right, of course, I can't be washing cars for the rest of my life. Right, but one thing was actually pushing me. I had plans to travel out there. So the plan was there. So everything I was doing was revolving around the end goal. So what is pushing you? You can't be you can't be blank, or you don't have anything, any goal, any career goal. Now we're talking about tech. You say tech, that means you need to have at least something that you love to do, right? Something you love to do, but what is pushing you to do that stuff? It could be product design, it could be software development, it could be product management, it could be cloud solution architect, it could be anything. But the question is, what is actually pushing you? There should be a drive to it. Some people, it could be money. Some people, it could be like they just find fulfillment in what they
even be family.
It could even be family. Yeah, it could be family. But something needs to actually, push you. And the second thing is you have to be very intentional. You have to be very, very intentional. Because at a point I was going to be a data scientist, but I don't love it. At least the money is there, but I don't really love it. But I want money, but I want to do what I love at the same time. So I need to, where did I start from, right? So I took advantage of my background in tech, which was not intentional, right, to get into what I love to do intentionally. Like I said, starting with website design, UX design, where you start analyzing data, then now experimentation and all that. So something has to push you. You know, it could be what you love, like you said earlier. It could be even family. It could be you just want a good life, right? So you can't just be like a daisical, like I don't care. You need to be intentional, intentional. So I would say to any African in trenches, right, or someone who really want to do well in either their career or even in life, right? You need to be intentional. If you want to fail, be intentional too. You can be intentional.
That's
All
it.
right. Something really needs to drive you, and you can't be comfortable with things that should not last like that for long, right? So it's about being intentional and being able to explain why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I agree. Totally. Thank you very much, Dayo.
Sure.
Thank you. Agbao.